Come on. Listen to that line.
Sound check.
G'day, welcome back to another vocal analysis here at Voice Essentials, and today I'm finally getting around to reviewing a video that so many of you have asked me to review. Those of you who are massive fans of Gabriel Henrique, we're finally getting to the in-car performance, and I have nothing but respect for Gabriel in doing this. On one level, it's brave in part because he's singing a foreigner song, I Want to Know What Love Is, from way back in 1984. This song just holds its own, doesn't it? Great songwriting, stands the test of time. In my humble opinion, and maybe I am showing my age here, this power ballad, it holds its own. That aside, and so it's brave to sing this song, that must be said. But to do it with really no assistance, and you're going to hear it. He's in his car, what appears to be, I don't know whether he's in a garage or whether he is certainly parked, and we're going to talk about singing in the car during this review and analysis. But to be seated, to be there's just he's done very little post editorial work to it, and I kind of know that already from having reviewed the video prior to recording, simply because the levels are a little bit all over the shop, stuff that would get fixed in post, but he hasn't done any of that, and in part he doesn't need to, because it really is a great example of just skillful singing. And I'll tell you, there's a reason why we don't hear more artists being brave enough to do this, is because so many of the modern singers have become so reliant on post-edit work, that doctoring of their sound, in part because that's what we as audiences have come to expect, that we've become very nervous to reveal our voice naked, as it were. That's not happening here. That this is the naked voice, but it's fantastic. Let's dive in and have a listen to Gabrielle singing, doing a stellar job of I Want to Know What Love Is.
I gotta take a little time to think this over.
So you can hear, in one sense, how what we refer to as dead the space is, and that is there's no resonance that holds. The release of the note is very quick when he's singing. If you know, I would love to know what the recording setup of this was, and many of you, I'm sure, many of you who are massive fans of Gabrielle will know. So please leave the comments. Leave that information in the comments section below, because it would just be really interesting to know what sort of mic is he recording into, what was the track being played through, because I can't see any, in-ear monitoring that he's got going on, maybe across his left ear, because that's sort of hidden in this, but I'd just be so keen for you to share with us all, how did he record this? Let's keep going.
I'm midway between the lines, in case I need it when I go down. Hey. In my life, there's been hiding the pain. I don't know if I could face it again. or we travel so far to change this lonely life.
And there we hear at the beginning, and this is not a criticism, it's just acknowledging there's a little bit of a gripping of the voice, and we hear that little bit of constriction. I'll take it back towards the end of those final couple of phrases. We just hear a little bit of glottal stroking, a little bit of fry coming in. And I think it's driven in part because of his seated position. For those of you who have watched my educational videos, and I encourage you to jump across to my YouTube channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and because there's more than just reaction videos. If you're interested in learning to sing, there's hundreds of educational videos on the channel. And we talk a lot about, this is a piece of information I actually don't enjoy providing. Don't sing in the car. Now, the two reasons for that, and the primary one, which is often the one that people are not aware of, is a thing called the Lombard effect. It's because of the amount of noise, the road noise that surrounds you as you're driving, and your voice has to compete with that. In this instance, that's not at play because the car is stationary, he's not driving anywhere, he's evidently parked in a relatively quiet space. But he is seated, and this is the second reason. And you can see the bucket seat of a car, certainly in modern cars and in the car that he's seated in there, everything collapses in. And so the whole thing actually concertinas at the point of the hips. And so all of our innards get quashed down into the hip girdle. And as a result, we have very little, if any, access to the support structure that we need for good breath management. The consequence of that is it drives all of that management up into the top part of the body, across the shoulders, up into the neck, and it causes us to have to work and recruit muscles that we really don't want involved primarily in our phonation, in our voicing. And we do get to see that in this performance. Again, it's not a criticism of the sound. He's making an amazing sound, and you're not going to hear me criticize anything about this vocal performance because it's stellar. It really is. And again, I take my hat off to him for doing it. I would love to see more artists being brave like this. But it is something for us educationally to understand about our voice and how it operates. Let's have a listen back. You can hear the voice grip up a little bit towards the end of this stanza.
So far to change this lonely life.
Here's a little bit of a fry there. Aesthetically, it works.
I want you to show me. I wanna feel love.
See him having to breathe quite high.
I know you can show me. Hey, I gotta take a little time.
I love the way he uses his registration and the weighting thereof to really give us, light and shade. I love that about his singing. He's got a lovely musicality about his performances. It's never on-off. He's able to really create gradients of color and tone, and he does that by managing his registrations really, really beautifully. I think it's one of his real strengths. Let's take it back a little bit and.
Hey, I gotta take a little time to look around me. I've got nowhere left to hide. love has finally found me. Oh, in my life.
So see that the moment he wanted to go bigger, he's got to recruit because there's no access to that lower support structure. And again, you know, aesthetically, it all works. Remembering I am a singing voice specialist, and so I'm not just here to ooh and ah over how fantastic Gabrielle is, though I'm sure we could do that. It's all about, for those of us who watch these videos and are looking for education around voice, my encouragement to you is don't fall into the trap of singing in your car, practicing in your car, you know, doing vocal workouts in your car, because it's not going to lead to good muscle memory. And it's such an important point.
There's been heart in this pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now.
Yeah, great. Oh, listen to that. So he goes from that really heavy, strong, short and a dominant sound, mode 1, and then flicks it up into mode 2, a cricothyroid dominant sound, a CT sound, head voice for those of you. Oh, the language, the terminology, it can trip us up, can't it?
If I can face it again, can't stop now. I'll be trying in this lonely life.
Oh, I love that. I just love that. And just before he did that, I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm aware that I'm smiling. I'm not doing. There's something about the genuine nature of Gabrielle that makes me smile. There's such an authenticity about him, and I love that. You know, and perhaps it's for the very reason that we're watching him sing in his car. It's there's no guile. It's refreshing. I don't know. I'm just sitting here. I'm aware that I'm smart. I'm really enjoying the performance and the vulnerability and the authenticity of it. It's wonderful. He chooses beautiful lines, doesn't he? And I think it comes about probably from him having listened to a lot of this sort of material. Gabrielle is known for singing a lot of these power ballads, and from this era, you know, he sings a lot of Whitney and Celine, but he just chooses just these wonderful melodic lines. The melisma is just great choices. I love the variance he puts into that, because he comes from a falsetto. Is it whistle tone? It's quite full for a whistle tone, and then he puts in a narrowing of the pharyngeal and laryngeal pharyngeal space via the aryepiglottic sphincter, I dare say, to add some twang, some focus into the tone, and it just gives us a completely different sound, which mixes it up. It's so good. Listen to that again. Oh yeah. Oh, come on. Listen to that line. I mean, that's that was good. Listen to that again.
I know you can show me.
Oh. Great. Nice job. And that smile at the end, I love it. I love it. And that, I think that smile, and there's, I don't know, there's just a lovely innocence to him that, and that makes me smile. I hope you've enjoyed today's vocal analysis. I hope you hear some of the things we're pointing out in today's analysis about the seating in the car and the recruiting of upper body is not a criticism of Gabrielle per se, but more an educational thing for those of us who watch these videos from that sort of angle. I really like Gabrielle, you know, he just, there's something about him I just really enjoy, and I'm sure for many of you that's the reason why you jump in. You also love him. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the white bell icon button. We do these analyses every week, and so I'd love to see you again in the next vocal analysis video here at Voice Essentials. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.